What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Gibbon here today with another video for you. Slightly different kind of commentary, if you like. In the background you're going to be watching quite a decent hardcore kill confirmed gameplay. Not too bad. Still trying to do those 50 confirms by the end of the game, so jumping on Infinite Warfare every now and then to have a bit of a go at that. What I wanted to have a chat with you about today was a topic that is quite close to my heart and something, given lights of recent personal experience for myself. And the topic I wanted to discuss was depression, particularly within males. To give you a little bit of background about me personally, depression is something that I have suffered from probably a very, very early age, and I didn't really realise what was wrong with me probably up until I was about 17 or 18, I would have thought. And it all kind of started when my mum and dad got they separated and my dad left home and it was just left with my mum. And the way that it started was I used to get bullied at school. I used to get bullied quite a lot. It used to be I'd get called bastard child, I'd get called child with no dad. They used to take the mickey out of me because they thought that I'd get spoilt over Christmas because I get loads of presents from my mum and loads of presents from my dad. Kids can be cruel. And that kind of affected me a lot as a kid, and what it did was it made me very, very angry and very, very down. And the way that I tended to express myself was through violence. And what used to happen was that I used to get into a lot of fights when I was younger. With me, when my rage comes on, so to speak, what generally tends to happen is that I go very, very quiet, and then I just kind of go blank. And then whatever happens during that blankness in the aftermath is where I kind of find out what happened. And I was in quite a dark place. And the same thing kind of happened at secondary school as well, is that I used to get bullied quite a lot. And it was I was quite a sporty person at school, and I used to be on all the sports teams and everything, so football, basketball, or soccer as you Americans like to call it, rugby, American football, just without all the gear, track and field, cricket, all of that kind of stuff, athletics. I did all of that at school, and I wasn't the typical type of person that would fit in or conform with the cool kids, so to speak. And just because of that, I was an easy target for people. I was always very little at school. I was never very big, and people used to generally just pick on me. I was fine when I was in the football team because I was good at football. Everybody loved me being in the team because I was good. But outside of that, because I didn't conform to what the cool kids were doing and I kind of did my own kind of thing, at this point in time I was very kind of introvert, so I was a bit of a loner, was probably the right way of saying it. And I kind of went into my own kind of shell, and people used to really, really take the mick out of me because I was an easy target in secondary school, and I never used to kind of hit back with it. And it wasn't until I was about 17 that I actually realised what was wrong. And how it came about is because I actually contemplated committing suicide when I was about 17 or 18. I'd just had enough. I couldn't cope with school anymore, exams, everything had gotten on top of me. I had issues about my mum and dad separating, and I remember standing there, and this is the God's honest truth, standing there with a knife over my wrist, just thinking there's no point to it anymore. I can't be bothered with it. And I don't know what happened, but I think I remember talking to my mum about it because my mum just found me in a heap. One day I didn't want to go to school, and my mum just found me in a bit of a heap crying, and I explained to her about the bullying and explained to her about how I was feeling, and she made me go and see somebody. And I talked to a doctor, and the doctor diagnosed me with depression. And one of the things that I learned about depression was that talking about it really, really helps. But one of the biggest problems with depression is actually recognising that that's what's wrong with you, and having the ability to talk about it. And I managed with it, I coped with it. It was always there in the background, it always has been there in the background. And again, I've always been a bit of a loner in inverted commas. I don't have a lot of what I would term as true friends or people that I spend a lot of time with outside of my family. That's just kind of the way that I've always been. I like my own company to quite a large degree. I'm quite happy in my own company and in my own thoughts. And basically, fast forward, as I said, to recent events, and obviously my mum passing away, and it obviously has come to the forefront again, where I have that really awful feeling of just feeling lost and not knowing what I want to do and feeling very confused and very sad and very down, and just the littlest things would set me off, and it is quite natural given my current circumstances. However, I can recognise now when I'm going into that spiral of starting to feel depressed, or starting to feel low, or starting to feel down. And generally with me, what I like to kind of do is, maybe it's not the right way of doing it, but I kind of go into myself and process my thoughts a little bit and work out kind of what's going on. And last week was kind of my second week back at work, after obviously my mum passed and everything, and I just found myself kind of in a daze most of the time. And my sister and my partner Emma were obviously very worried about me, and I actually picked up the phone to a bereavement counsel service, and I just said, my mum's passed away recently, and I need help. I need help dealing with the situation. I need help processing the thoughts that I'm going through. And as much as your family can help, sometimes it does help to talk to somebody else about it who is completely unrelated from an emotional point of view to the situation that you're going through, and they can sometimes give you a more objective viewpoint and try and help you to think about it a little bit more logically, and give you kind of plans and measures to cope with the way that you're feeling. Now, I'm not one of them people who would turn around and go, don't ever take drugs or this, that and the other. At the end of the day, if happy pills are going to help for a certain amount of time, then take them. Just after my mum passed, I was really struggling sleeping. I was pretty much surviving for probably about 3 weeks on about an hour's sleep a night. Obviously, I have a lot of thoughts going through my head and everything like that. So I went to see the doctor and explained it to the doctor. And the doctor gave me some sleeping tablets, and they worked perfectly. What they did is they enabled me to get back into a normal type of pattern and get myself back to sleep again, and sort of facilitate more restful sleep, so to speak. And picking up the phone to the bereavement counsellor, it's, for a man, it's a very, very big step to do, because you're admitting a weakness almost, and it feels like that you're less of a man for doing it. The point that I will kind of want to get out there is that it doesn't make you weak for asking for help. It takes a bigger man to be able to go, do you know what, I can't deal with this, and I actually really need some help on the situation. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. If anybody that's listening to this commentary or watching this video feels like they're struggling with something in their life, or they feel like they're down a lot of the time, or they don't know how to cope with a certain situation, then please speak to somebody. It will be the best thing that you ever do, because you're lightening the burden. Some people might be able to help, and that's what friends are there for, and that's what the professionals are there for as well. It doesn't make you a lesser person to admit that upstairs something isn't quite right, and that you might need a little bit of help with something. And I just want to stress that out there today to anybody that's listening to this video. That's just kind of my story. I didn't want to make it too heavy or depressive, but if you are suffering from any form of depression, or you feel that you're down, or you're not quite sure what's going on with yourself, talk to somebody. The worst thing that you can do is bottle it up inside, because it will manifest itself, like it did with me as a younger kid, into violence for me. It might manifest itself into other things for other people. Anyways, I hope that helps. I hope if anybody's listening to this that is in that situation, that they potentially get something out of it. I really hope that you do. And anybody that is suffering from that type of situation, help is out there, and I hope you find it. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope this has been of some use to you. If you've enjoyed the video, click the like button. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below if you want to, and I'll do my best to answer any questions. I'll talk to you on the next one, guys. Peace.